This is Super Monkey Ball. It's a game about rolling a ball. And of course it's about a ball because balls are round and rolly. But they're not the only shape that can roll. Wheels roll, soup cans roll, even these weird square things roll. So clearly there's an opportunity to take Monkey Ball to the next level. And that's exactly what I did. In just under a week, I created a full game with 20 levels, online speedrunning leaderboards, and even a completely original soundtrack, which you are currently listening to, and I may have even gotten the popular streamer, Atrioc, to play it.
I solved the game. I solved the game.
Are you ready to find out how I did all these things? The first thing we need to do is make the ring for us to play as. Luckily, Blender has something called a torus, which is just the mathematical nerd word for the shape of a donut. Once that was done, I exported it to Unity, but now it just sits there lifelessly. To get it to move, I added a mesh collider and a rigid body, which is a fancy way of saying turning on the physics. But that's when Unity hit me with a big red one. It's basically telling me that the mesh I gave it is too complicated to just automatically generate the shape of its hitbox. Really, Unity? This is too complicated for you?
I don't know. I don't get it.
Luckily, there's a workaround. Calculating hitboxes is fairly simple for game engines if you use one of the three basic shapes: sphere, capsule, or box. And I know what you're thinking, these don't look like rings at all. But if we take this one, make a bunch of them, and arrange them in a circle, we have a ring. Checkmate, Unity, that's 1 point for me. We've successfully added physics to the ring, but now it just falls over, and that's because we don't have any controls. I wrote a script to add some forces in the direction of the joystick, which I thought was going to lead to perfect wheel-like rolling, but instead it tumbled over itself like this. This isn't what I intended, but it kind of intrigued me. I wanted to see if it could climb walls, so I dropped a massive cube into the map and pushed against it as hard as I could. It didn't work, but it was very close. I gave it a little help by adding bumpy edges to the wall, and I couldn't believe what I saw. No, it's not possible. It can't be possible. How is it possible? Oh my god, it's so beautiful. My life is never going to be the same again. This moment solidified end over end tumbling as an official mechanic. Which was cool, but I still hadn't solved the problem of actually getting the ring to roll properly. It turns out the problem was more complicated than I first thought. Imagine that the ring is slightly turned to the left. You might think, oh, just nudge it to the right a little bit and everything will be corrected. Sounds good, but remember the ring is probably spazzing out and tumbling all over the place, which makes it hard to know how exactly to get it back straight. To be honest, I really don't get it. So I did what any desperate developer would do and asked ChatGPT for help. And it solved the problem on its first try.
Ha ha ha, I am smart and you are dumb, and your videos suck. Ha 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 ha.
I spent a little while fine-tuning all the controls for the ring and the camera, and soon enough I had a movement scheme that was pretty satisfying to use. And to put the icing on the cake, it needed some juicy sound effects. So I grabbed my microphone and every metal object in my house and started banging on them to record something great.
What are you doing?
But luckily, I had just enough time to record a few gems. One of the most iconic sound effects in Monkey Ball is that whistle noise you hear as the ball gains speed, and I wanted to add it to my game too. I hopped over to FL Studio and tried making it with a sine wave, but it definitely was a little off. I played around with the synthesizer, pushing random buttons and knobs because I don't know what half this stuff does, until I stumbled upon something surprisingly close. It wasn't technical skill, it was sheer brute force. But in sound design, sometimes that's exactly what works. Another iconic Monkey Ball feature is the stage tilting. Looks pretty easy. Let's just rotate the stage according to my left stick input. So it turns out, literally tilting the stage is actually a really bad idea. Either this chaos happens, or collision gets seriously messed up. So I came up with some clever trickery. There's actually 2 stages. One that tilts and has no collision, and another which does not tilt, has collision, and is invisible. In other words, a physics stage and an appearance stage. Together, these give the illusion that the stage is tilting, when as you can tell, it actually isn't. So the stage never actually tilts, it's all just fraudulent, phony fakery. These mechanics and gimmicks are cool and all, but they're nothing if we don't have a goal to reach. At first I thought about copying the end goal from Super Monkey Ball, but I wanted my version to take advantage of the fact that the ball is now a ring. And what's the mathematical opposite of a ring? A pole. And when they come together, at first you had to manually lay the ring down over the pole to trigger it, but it quickly got tedious, so I got rid of it and just had it happen automatically with a nice little animation and jingle. Now we need some actual levels to play. I whipped up a sketch of some levels in Paint and translated each of them into 3D with Blender. Some levels were really easy to make, like this one. It's literally just a flat rectangle, but there were some that were actually kind of hard to make, like this twisty one. I made a hexagon prism thing and twisted it up with a curve modifier. It looked fine over here, but on this end it got kind of distorted. It kind of looks like an octopus or something. Or I guess technically a hexapus. Anyway, it looked cool, so I kept it. This process was really fun, and so many ideas just flew out of my brain. I made all 20 of them in just one afternoon. Then I put them all in order and called it Challenge Mode, where your objective is to beat all the levels in as few deaths as possible. There's also a 30-second timer for each level, which explodes if you don't make it to the goal in time. For such a simple game, I was kind of surprised how fun it was. I spent a few hours just playing around on this handful of levels and even discovered some interesting tech. For instance, you can actually jump in this game, but it's not that easy. If you roll towards a gap, then quickly switch to end over end mode, and that's how you do it. It was super satisfying to pull off in the right places. Now the only thing this game needs is some background decorations. Luckily, I just recently made a jungle scene for my monkey fighting game, Kung Fu, so I just copied that one, made it humongous, and put it in the background. I also whipped up this sick dance track in the style of Monkey Ball music. And now it's starting to feel alive. I decided to name the game as a parody of Super Monkey Ball. Swooper, Money, Ring. Then it was time to hand off the game to my friends for a playtest. I couldn't wait to watch them have tons of fun with my new creation.
No! Oh,
Go! No! No!
I can make it! The jump! What happened? What happened?
Go! No!
So it turns out the game is significantly more difficult than I thought. But instead of addressing the frustration by making the game easier, I decided to add a guided meditation to the game, and I gotta say, I'm pretty proud of it.
Let's imagine a happy place. A place where there is a gentle breeze on your face, where water is flowing gently nearby, and where a little white butterfly flies right past you. Let's imagine that we are there for a few moments.
Very relaxing, right? One thing I kept hearing was that the game felt like it was perfect for speedrunning, which I thought was a great idea. The simplest way to add it was with an online leaderboard, but that requires storing information on a web server somewhere, and I don't really know how to do that. I looked around on Google for solutions and stumbled upon a package by a guy called Daniel Jumagaliev. I have no idea how to say your name, sorry. It was super easy to import and get working, but pretty quickly I noticed that the servers he used went down a lot. Like a lot. If you tried to submit a score while they were down, your scores would just get lost in the sauce, which is completely unacceptable. Appalled by Daniel's handiwork, I threw his package directly in a dumpster. If you want anything done right, I guess you have to do it yourself. That's when I read about Amazon Web Services, which is basically a server warehouse in Jeff Bezos' bathroom. It actually wasn't that hard to use, and I got it working after just a few hours. Now with these working leaderboards, the world records were ripe for the taking, so I got to work grinding out my best times and grabbed them all. To give you a little extra incentive to try hard at the game, I'm going to offer a prize. Whoever holds the world record on April 30th at 8 PM gets their name mentioned at the end of my next video. Now the game is completely finished, but I want to set one more bonus challenge. getting a popular streamer to play it. Which streamer, you ask? Well, of course, the one most associated with Monkey Ball, Atrioc,
Holy shit! I am good!
since he's the most likely to enjoy it. And today's his birthday! So maybe I can frame it as a present made just for him or something. I jumped into his stream and sent him a message. Nothing. Another message. Nothing. 10 more messages. Nothing. Oh, come on, there's gotta be a way to cut through all the noise.
Yo, first time catching a stream. King Jingle, a certified first-time chatter. And so as a first-time chatter, I ask you one thing. You can set the topic. Anything you want to talk about.
If I pretend like it's my first stream, then I can control the topic and get him to talk about the game.
See, when you say it, matthizzone, I know it's not true because I can check. I can see that you chatted on April 10th, for example. And that was when you said you're the first-time chatter.
Oh, no. Well, I guess that's it. I'm finished. And I'm pretty sure he saw the rest of the messages, which means he's definitely not interested in the game.